Let's get into this Zoe Kravitz news. So there was a rumor swirling that, first of all, I wasn't even thinking about it. Like when they was talking about the whole Batman Part 2 thing, I wasn't even thinking about Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Maybe I would have thought about it if I was giving it a rewatch. But for the most part, that wasn't even the top of my situation, like in the top of my brain. But the only thing I was thinking about was these rumors that was going around that Robin may be popping up in the Batman Part 2, which we know that James Gunn has debunked over something that Jeff Snyder had revealed on social media. I think it was on the Hot Mic where he revealed that he had heard rumors that, because according to James Gunn, only 4 people have read the script, and then he changed it and now 6. So I don't know. Is it 4? Is it 6? Is it 12? Is it 8? Like, what's the number? So James Gunn, I feel like, as much as I like him and I like his movies, I feel like ever since he's taken on this co-CEO role, he's been talking out of both sides of his damn mouth. And I'll just be side-eyeing him when he says I sound like Rosie Perez, because that's how she says. When he says a whole lot of ish on social media and tries to debunk it. And I'm like, sir, you giving a hit dog will holler tease. So with this whole situation being said, speaking of Jeff Snyder, because he revealed this on the Hot Mic last night. And so when I watched the show, I was like, let me just bring this to you guys so we can pretty much talk about it here. So, there's a huge amount of excitement, as we know, surrounding filmmaker Matt Reeves' plans for the Batman Part 2, which, they just finished the script, like, what was it, maybe a month ago? But according to a new rumor, Zoe Kravitz will not be reprising her role as Selena Kyle / Catwoman. Now, recent reports suggest Zoe Kravitz may not reprise her role, sparking speculation about the sequel's direction. However, there's still uncertainty, with some hinting that the claims could simply be a way to avoid questions, which is pretty much the way that they worded this, or the way that Jeff Snyder revealed it. I feel like she probably is in the movie. Y'all just don't want us to ask about it because you don't want her to slip or whatever the case is. So on the Hot Mic show, he stated, the reps for Zoe Kravitz instructed the press, don't ask Zoe any questions about the Batman Part 2. She's not in it and doesn't know anything. And this basically, he said that how this popped up was when she was being interviewed at another film's junket, which is, oh my God, what's the name of that? There's this movie that she has coming out. I totally forgot the name of it. I mean, it looks interesting, but it's not interesting for me clearly to remember the name of the movie. But it's this movie that she has coming out with Austin Butler, which the rumor is them two are hunting in real life, because I guess their chemistry was so great in that new movie that they're doing that apparently the rumor is that they're dating. And look, she's single. She's no longer with Channing Tatum. He's no longer with Kaya Gerber, who is the daughter of Cindy Crawford. They're both single, so they can do whoever they want to do. So I ain't mad at it. He's actually, look, Austin Butler's a good looking guy, and she's a pretty girl. And it's funny because I was reading in this article, because I think he's in Men's Health, and the pictures and stuff started coming out with him, and he was saying something or another about that the director of the film had sent him pictures of like baseball players' butts, because he's supposed to be playing an ex-baseball player turned bartender in this new movie, and he wanted him to kind of get a butt. Like, I'm like, first of all, you're not Dominican. Number 2, there's no way in hell that you're going to develop that butt. And I've been seeing them pictures of him. I'm like, child, you still flat as a flapjack. So you might as well just give him like the little fake butt situation, like either borrow Madonna's fake ass, or you could borrow that fake booty thing. Remember, let me take y'all back to 2000. Remember that the pilot episode of Queer as Folk, when Michael went and hooked up with that guy, and all of a sudden, when he got back to the apartment, he was taking his penis print out, he took his ass cheeks, the fake butt out, and all this other stuff, and then he was trying to find a way to slither out of that whole hookup. But the man was like removing all the parts of his body. And that was when Lindsay had the baby. And so that's when he found his excuse to go run down with Brian down to the hospital to go and deal with that whole situation. Same thing I'm saying with Austin Butler. I'm like, sir, you still look flat from the back. And I've seen them recent pictures of you. So the body looks good though, because you've been worked out. But for the most part, it was like, you still flat. Now, they said this has led to speculation that Catwoman will not appear in the sequel, John Roca added. So Catwoman is not in Batman Part 2, even though she was a big part of the first film. And Snyder said, listen, only 6 people on the planet have read the script. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. And that's him being, of course, glib because y'all already know if you've been paying attention, or maybe you don't know. I always say that when it's like, maybe y'all probably already know, when it's like, I can't always assume that y'all know everything that I know and y'all watch everything that I watch, which is why I bring y'all the information if y'all can get the information from where I get my information from. So on the hot mic, if you've been watching the show, Jeff Snyder has kind of been going back and forth with James Gunn, even though James Gunn hasn't directly addressed him. There have been things that he has said on social media, particularly threads, where he's gone in and would try to debunk certain things that Jeff Snyder has said, to where Jeff kind of takes it personal and he goes off. And it's sort of like, you know what? You've been doing what you've been doing. You've been doing this for a long time. I don't know how long Jeff Snyder's been doing, probably like 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know. I haven't kept track of like how long he's been doing this stuff. But for about as long as he's been doing this, like he has a lot of people in the industry who gives him information and he comes back with it and he vets it. Sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he doesn't, but he's human. So everybody who gets scoops, yeah, the stuff turns out, sometimes it doesn't turn out to be true, but a lot of times he is correct in what he says, because then when he says it, a couple of days later, all of a sudden, the trades, like the varieties and the deadlines and all the stuff comes out and reveals stuff that he's revealed. Like, for example, the Duffer Brothers, there's been a story going around about them signing a deal, leaving Netflix after Stranger Things and signing a deal with Paramount Plus. That story has been floating around for the past maybe like 2 weeks. Story officially was broken today by the trades. So it's like, a lot of times when you're an independent person, you hear things and we put it out there and they'll try to debunk it and they get mad. But it's just like, look, I'd rather get it from somebody who is not tied into the industry versus somebody who works for the trades and is kissing these Hollywood people ass just so they can get access to certain places. And it'd be great to have access to a lot of these places, but I don't want the access if it's gonna cause me to have to like neuter some of the things that I'm going to say, when it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, I work for you guys. Like when I'm doing this show, I work for y'all. Y'all sit and tune in for the gossip and all the other stuff, and I'm bringing y'all the information as I'm hearing it from other people. So I totally understand like why Jeff was feeling the way he felt, and why and to me it's just like, James Gunn has to understand, like, I understand you're an artist and all that other stuff, but now you're in mogul mode. So you have to understand how you have to put yourself in that mogul brain and realize that being a businessman, being a mogul, they work on a different frequency than somebody who just wants to be an artist. If you want to be an artist, be an artist, but it don't seem like you know what you want to be. You don't know. 1 minute you direct, now you got ideas for the new Superman movie and you got a 60-page outline and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, so at what point are we actually going to put our Kevin Feige hat on, and you know, Kevin Feige and MCU, y'all in a mess. We already just discussed that conversation. And I'm going to probably bring that up when we get to that Blade story, which is coming up in like maybe what, 2 other topics post this one. So, if you're going to get in that mogul mindset, it's just like, you have to be able to know, like, okay, so what are we doing? What are you putting together? Now, as far as like Catwoman, do I want to see Zoe Kravitz back in the movie? Oh, the movie is called Caught Stealing. I don't know why I couldn't remember the damn name of that movie, but do I want to see her in the movie? I liked Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Now, y'all already know my all-time favorite Catwoman will always be Michelle Pfeiffer, because that is the Catwoman that I grew up with from Batman Returns. That is my generation's Batman. When I was a little kid, I went to the movies to go see that, and that movie I felt like changed my life. I quoted every damn line from that freaking film. Me and my friend at the time in school, Mario, we used to just quote all the little scenes from that movie. Which I think it was like, yeah, all the Catwoman scenes, all the other stuff, we would just quote all those iconic lines from that movie. So that definitely caused a big impression on me when I was growing up. But out of all because I know some people say Julie Newmar, I'm like, first of all, I wasn't even alive when Julie Newmar was Catwoman, or Eartha Kitt. But my generation, as I said, is Michelle Pfeiffer. Now, in regards to this one, I mean, I liked Anne Hathaway. She was cool for what I liked her costume and everything in regards to the movie. Y'all already know I have my trepidations about my love-hate relationship with the Nolan verse of Batman. I do love The Dark Knight. All the other 2 I was kind of bored with, but The Dark Knight to me is like the perfect Batman movie out of all of the 3 that he's done. And I love the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I love what Matt Reeves has done with that, and I like that Catwoman. I would like to see more of her in the film. Do I think she has a part? I'm sure she will have some sort of a role in here, because my thing is this: if somebody is not in a film, why would you tell people at a press junket, oh, don't bring up nothing about Catwoman because she don't know nothing? Like, if I'm a reporter and I'm just going to bring up, so Matt Reeves is done with the script. Have you read anything? Are you going to be in the movie? She could have just easily said, I haven't seen the script. I don't know if I'm in the movie. I haven't heard anything. Nobody's contacted me. You know just as much as I do. Like, you could have spun it in a way where people would have just left it alone and we would have moved on. But then when you say something like this, all you've done is pretty much drawn attention to the fact that now we're speculating. Is she in the movie? Is she not in the movie? Now I'm starting now, and I think a lot of people are forming more on the side of, I think they full of ish. I think they lying, and I think she's in the movie. And if she is, then that's great, because I don't mind seeing Catwoman. We saw it, I mean, then we saw like they went their separate ways, and time has passed since then. So there's some way to bring her back, especially the part with Kristen Milotti, and that scene what happened in the Penguin, where her discovering that whole thing about Selena being her sister and that sort of thing. If they decide to play that up and bring Kristen Milotti, back into the Batman Part 2, as well as Colin Farrell reprising his role as Penguin before we get the Penguin Season 2, then I'm all for these characters being back in this movie, because y'all gonna have to do something, and I'm really hoping and praying that the big storyline, because none of us know what's in the script except 4 people, according to them, or 6 people, how many the hell he said. I'm hoping they do the Court of Owls, because that's definitely the storyline. I think if you're going to place this whole thing about realism and power and people taking over Gotham and that sort of power play situation, I really think that the Court of Owls is a great story to take on if you're going to be doing the Matt Reeves verse of Batman. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Zoe Kravitz and the rumors swirling that she may or may not be in the Batman Part 2? Do you think that she's in Batman Part 2? I actually think that if she wasn't in the movie, they wouldn't have made people at a press conference say what they said. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.